formulas and corresponding biomedical disorders. For acute conjunctivitis, use Sang Ju Yin. Acute endometritis, use Tao He Cheng Chi Tang. For acute myocardial infection, use Si Ni Tang. For acute viral hepatitis, use Chao Chai Hu Tang. For acute and chronic nephritis, use Wuling Sun. For allergic rhinitis, use Gui Chi Tang or Yuping Feng Sun. For anemia, use Si Wu Tang. For appendicitis, use Da Cheng Chi Tang. For asthma, use Su Tzi Jiang Chi Tang. For cholecystitis, use Yue Ju Wan or Xiao Yao San. For chronic bronchitis, use Su Tzi Jiang Chi Tang. For chronic dysentery, use Si Shen Wan. For chronic gastritis, use Li Zhong Wan. For chronic hepatitis, use Ban Sha Xie Xing Tang. Chronic laryngitis, Ban Sha Ho Pu Tang. Chronic lower back pain, use Du Ho Ji Sheng Tang. For chronic nephritis, use Zhen Wu Tang. For congestive heart failure, use Zheng Wu Tang. For coronary artery disease, use Xue Fu Zhu Yu Tang. For cystitis, use Ba Zhen San. For diabetes mellitus, use Bai Hu Tang. For the early stages of schizophrenia, use Wen Dan Tang. For the early stages of acute bronchitis, use Sang Ju Yin. For the early stage of dysentery, use Da Cheng Chi Tang. For edema from pregnancy, use Wu Pi San. For endometriosis, use Gui Ji Fuling Wan. For functional uterine bleeding, use Gui Pi Tang or Gu Jing Wan. For gallstones, use Long Dan Xie Dan Tang. For gastric ulcers, use Ban Xie Xie Xin Tang. For headaches and migraines, use Wu Zhu Yu Tang. For hemiplegia after stroke, use Xiao Ho Lo Dan. For herpes zoster, use Long Dan Xie Gan Tang. For hypertension, use Tian Ma Go Teng Yin. For hyperthyroidism, use Xiao Yao San or Liu Wei Di Huang Wan. For hypothyroidism, use Jin Gui Shen Qi Wan. For hysteria, use Gan Mai Da Cao Tang. For IBS, use Xiao Yao San. For infertility, use Wen Jing Tang. For insufficient lactation, use Si Wu Tang. For intestinal flu, use Ho Shang Sheng Qi San. For irregular menstruation, Wen Jing Tang. For malaria, Chao Chai Hu Tang. For mastitis, Si Ni Sun. For Meniere's disease, use Ban Sha Bai Zhu Tian Ma Tang. For morning sickness, use Ju Pi Zhu Ru Tang. For mumps or measles, use Yin Chao San. For neurasthenia, use Gui Pi Tang. For orchitis, use Long Dan Xie Gan Tang. Osteoporosis, use Yu Gui Wan. For ovarian cysts, Guiji Fooling One. For peptic ulcers, Pingwei Sun. For pneumonia, Qingqi Huatan One. For postpartum constipation, use Ma Ti Ren Tang. For postpartum fever, use Guiji Tang or Chao Chai Hu Tang. For postpartum uterine bleeding, use Jiao Ai Tang. For postpartum weakness, use Siwu Tang. For post-surgical hiccups, use Ju Pi Juru Tang. For prolapsed uterus or rectum, use Buzhong Yiqi Tang. For prostatitis, use Bajing San. For pulmonary TB, use Bai He Gujin Tang. For purulent skin lesions, use Huanglian Jidu Tang. For Raynaud's phenomenon, use Sini San. For recurrent miscarriage, use Buzhong Yiqi Tang. For rheumatoid or osteoarthritis, use Juanbi Tang or Du Huo Jixing Tang or Chao Huo Luodan. For roundworms in the bile duct, use Da Chengqi Tang. For sciatica, use Du Huo Jixing Tang. For stomach flu, use